Happy Saturday, Big Orange Nation. This is Frank Rock. This is the House Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Tennessee Volunteers continue rolling in recruiting and football recruiting. They add their 18th commitment as they beat out Georgia for linebacker slash defensive end Christian Gass out of Georgia. So he comes in, depending on the site, you look at East Side Georgia, 6'2.5", around 6'3", 215. In the video, we talked with Austin Price, volquest.com. They talked about the commitment, and he talked about, just what he adds to the table. And he talked about just, he had a great visit. He gets to learn from different coaches. He talked, high of William Inge, Tim Banks. He really liked Josh Heupel. He talked about how Josh Heupel said he spent more time with Josh Heupel than he did any other coach. Talked about, I guess, where they go out on the lake and stuff on their visits. And Coach Chop, I want to do something on Coach Chop because I've honestly not heard a lot about this guy till recently. But Coach Chop, the Vorn Harbin, a guy who a lot of these dudes, these defensive guys committing are talking about Coach Chop, even offensive guys. I mean, this dude's a recruiting machine, it seems like. And I think Vol fans really want to know a lot more of who he is. And I'm going to try to dig into that, find out a little bit more about him. But mentioned how Coach Chop every day calling him, letting him know he's wanted, letting him know these things. And, it's another big commitment for Tennessee. I mean, you look at it according to so now looking at the rankings, according to On3, Tennessee's ranked 10th in the recruiting rankings. According to 24/7, they're ranked 9th. Looking at, so I wanted to look on On3. On3 had him listed higher than 24/7 did. They have him ranked. So according to On3, they have him. Some of this stuff's confusing. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. I guess this is their median average of it. It says 225 on it. On3, their regular rankings has him 85th overall. 24/7 has him as a 3-star, as does Rivals.com. But ESPN has him 124, and like I said, On3 has him 85. So the whatever they call it here, they're I can't even remember. It's like their cumulative score has him at 225 on average. So a 4 on a couple of them, a 3 on a couple of them. But so that gives Tennessee, according to On3 and 24/7, 10 4-stars, 8 3-stars. Now, some of that will differ depending on the site. Some of them will have one as a 4 on one site and a 3 on the other. I could go through every one of them, but I'm not going to on here either. But, looking at the analysis on it, what does he bring to the table? I know on 24/7, the instant analysis here talks about, I think it stood out to me, he said in the 100-yard, he runs an 11.3. Said he can go sideline to sideline. He can do, talks about his length. He has impressive length, arms measured 35 inches. This was according to his coach, Jay Cawthon. I hope I pronounced that right. 83-inch wingspan. Says he's a versatile second-level defender, primarily lines up in an outside linebacker in the traditional 4-3. Now, with Austin Price, Christian Gass talked about how he was told he could play inside and outside. So, and I've seen some as well where he could possibly even grow in and be a defensive lineman as well. So a lot of versatility here. Says he into 4-3, says he flashed plenty working as an edge rusher on the line of scrimmages. Said he owns the requisite size to potentially contribute second level early in his career to go along with unverified but promising length measurables. And says his promising physical specs and ability to cover in space for his size make him an ideal Mike or Will linebacker. And says he does a fantastic job carrying receivers down the field for making plays at the catch point, but can also rally to the football and trigger quickly downhill from depth after the catch. And his coach says he's primarily been utilized in space as the best athlete on his high school squad. And the analysis, according to 24/7 and On3, they both talk about how basically he has untapped potential. He has a ways to go. He's not reached his full potential, and there's a long way to go with him. So another big commitment. Tennessee beats Georgia once again. Beat them last week for Travis Smith Jr. They beat them this week for Christian Gass. Next Saturday, Shady Hayward. It's believed as of right now, Tennessee beats Georgia again for Shady Hayward. And then, where do they go from there? You got one Gaston coming up around the 1st of August. You got Josh Petty coming up. I don't think that is, based on what I've read, that does not seem to be two that favor Tennessee at this point in time. August 17th, next month, you have David Sanders, which is the big one. I've heard it said otherwise, and I agree on this. David Sanders Jr., to me, makes or breaks this class. It's going to be a good class with or without him. It's a great class with him. It's a good class without him. And that's taking nothing away from anyone else that's in this recruiting class. All right. So it's not a slight against them. It's that to have that great recruiting class, you need that top-notch player. Now, maybe it is George McIntyre. Maybe the ranking is not truly accurate with him just because it's led to believe because he didn't compete in the Elite 11, his ranking dropped. True or not, it is what it is. He'll have a chance to improve that this fall once football season starts, as that's not the final rankings in each publication, but he dropped unanimously. For me, like I said, I've heard it said before on other sites, other channels. I totally agree with this. Sanders makes or breaks this class for Tennessee. And that's not meant as a slight. I don't think anybody's saying it as mean it as a slight against anybody in this class, but that's the big one. And from what I've seen on this, Tennessee still feels confident. Ohio State feels good as well, but I'm banking on Tennessee taking that one home right now. From what I see in the near future, Tennessee is the favorite for Shady Hayward. They are the favorite for Onis Canabani, cornerback out of Columbia. They are the favorite for David Sanders. They are the favorite to flip Jaden Perlotti from Georgia. That would put Tennessee, you add those four into the equation, that put them at 22 commitments overall. I mean, I don't see how if you add those guys, plus you've got to think there will be more as the fall goes along. You may get some you have to prepare for the possibility of decommitments, the possibility guys decommit from other schools, and the possibility that Tennessee can get some more. And then Tennessee's going hard for Dwayne Morris, athlete out of Murfreesboro. He's currently committed to USC. They're going to put the full court press on him as a running back. He'd make the second running back in this class. And, we'll see how this running back recruiting, I think it's lacked a little bit to be desired so far. And that's nothing against Justin Baker or anything, but they've just not hit on the guys they've gone after. If you get Dwayne Morris, that'll be a good add to it as well. And then, I don't know. We've questioned running back recruiting before, and they keep producing results. So, we'll see how it goes with Darrell Sims and how he does coaching as well. This class is shaping up nicely, though. Tennessee's winning a lot of these big boy battles this year, where I felt last year there was their share they didn't. Again, the big one's still going to be David Sanders. You can agree or disagree with me on that. That's fine. We can agree to disagree if not on it. I love this commitment. Christian Gass, I love the versatility. I love the size. I love what seems like the speed in him being able to cover. One thing, and this linebacking core, the fact that they keep adding to it. You think of it, and give Brian John Marie his credit. When he come in, he took over a bare cupboard. He's done an excellent job revamping that, adding talent to it. And now with William Inge, you're adding Christian Gass. It's looking pretty possible you're going to add Jaden Perlotti. Shady Hayward is a guy who could possibly grow to be a linebacker as well. They're adding talent. They're adding big-time talent on this team, going against big-time competitors in Georgia, Ohio State. That's when you know you're doing something right. It's when you start to beat those teams in recruiting. Tennessee's starting to do that. They're not doing it every time, and you're never going to do it every time against those. But when you start winning some of those battles, that's big to me. But I'm going to wrap up on that one. Just keep your eye. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel for notifications with stuff coming up. If you like the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up. And the biggest thing, just make sure you share that content out as well. We're rocking and rolling. I appreciate all your support. I'm wrapping up on that one. I hope you have a great Saturday. Frank Rock, House Orange Sports Channel. I'll see you when I see you. And last but most certainly not least, go Vols.
Everyone rejects me.